Wes, it's Pride Month this month.
Well, hell, I'm proud. You know what?
Oh,
I thought of something. It's
okay.
Pride Month. I'm proud. Are you guys proud?
Yes, I don't know where this is going with, but yes,
Natively, I'm
proud.
proud. Yeah.
Well, we're all boys or men, presumably. How about Proud Boys? It's not taken, right?
There's no way.
I don't think you understand what you've just done.
Yes, I'm sure that could never be misconstrued in any way, shape, or form.
All right, let me just Google that real quick.
Yeah, you do that. Good evening, infidels, and welcome to this special edition episode of the Life Midwest podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm your host, Kevin Palmer, joined a Washington musician, a communications major, and an Army veteran, all originally from the Midwest, as we talk about life's endeavors that include life events that are current. How do I fuck this up? How many episodes in? Is this 103? This 103 and I still can't fucking do this. We talk about current events. Joining us for that show is my good buddy, Thai correspondent Wes Shirley.
Hi, I'm proud. Wait, no, no, we established that's not a thing.
Checking in to see if the other square in the screen is proud. We have our Seattle's best, but I don't mean the coffee, Lenny Wells.
Listen, what happens in the field stays in the field, but I'm really disappointed you didn't carry on with that very sensual manner that you were introducing yourself with, Kevin. It was really good. And you had me going for a second.
Good evening. I peeked the mic. Hold on. Good evening. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so like I read this article on Fox News of all fucking places.
Oh, here we go.
And it said Christian conservative leader motions or calls for June to be titled Fidelity Month.
Like high fidelity? Hell yeah, they should be done in HD.
I want that shit to be crystal clear.
Let's just leave it at that. I like my high definition.
It's 2023. We need to get out of the what is it, 140 or 120? If it's not 1080p, if it's not at least 1080, what are you doing with your life?
You're confusing hertz with resolution, my friend.
Wait, 1080 hertz? What type of, is that a refresh rate?
If that's a refresh rate, I need that. I need that monitor. Because normally, like, to put that in perspective, current refresh rates, like, to get a 300 hertz refresh rate monitor, that's like, especially if you want like OLED and 4K, it's like $3,000. You're rocking 1080 over there?
Dude, I have so many P's.
My eyes don't even care about 60. I don't know.
I think that'll be our first shirt. I have so many P's. Lenny, what the hell are we talking about this week?
Oh, we're talking about that it's Pride Month and stuff associated with it.
Yeah. Largely going to be referencing what you may or may not be able to read from Wikipedia for the conversation at hand. Just because just in the interest of getting like the origination, and for those who don't know, it actually began after the Stonewall riots, a series of gay liberation protests in 1969, and has since spread outside of the United States. Modern Day Pride Month both honors the movement for LGBT rights and celebrates LGBT culture. This is something that's important to me, even though I'm a straight white male. Because I think it's important for us to have a conversation about being allies for people in that community. I think that's a really important thing. That's important to me. That it's kind of like a hey, like I don't know your struggles, but I see that you may have struggles that I don't. And I celebrate your plight, if that makes sense. And I think that's kind of what Pride Month is about, is like kind of just being like coming out and being like, this is who I am, and I was born this way. This isn't a choice. This is genuinely how I feel. And I just get really upset when people talk about like the gender dysphoria stuff, about like, oh, it's a condition, it's a phase, it's a this, it's a that. And so I just want to open the conversation today to talk about that a little bit, and give some space to the movement that is the LGBT plus community. So any thoughts, guys?
Wes?
Yeah, even though we're straight white males, I think it's important that I think it's important that anyone who cares about justice, anyone who cares about understanding other humans as they consider themselves, you gotta ally, you gotta champion this type of stuff. If we look back to like the abolitionist movements and the suffrage movements, you see that like these groups that are considered marginalized throughout history, when they band together, more stuff gets done. And even though we're not marginalized, traditionally in any way, we are white males in the US. It's good that we can champion these movements. I don't have too much real opinion on it otherwise, just that I want to be on the side of history. Just a personal thing. I want to be on the side of history that champions marginalized movements, right? Because that's good. What's good for some people is generally good for everyone in aggregate. If we give people rights, then more people have rights. We have more people doing things that make our society better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what there is to add to it. What two consenting adults do is what's the problem with that? Nobody's, well, I don't want to deal with an absolute there, but like, it's not a problem, right? Especially in this country when people are straight. Why is it should be a problem if not? You know, I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. People are just born that way. And why are we trying to force them to live a life that's not theirs? And I think, Wes, you're right. You're right on top of it as well. Like, as straight white males or whatever, as like cis hets, I think that it's important for us to lend our support to people that are marginalized and are struggling in such a way, because while you're like how you talked about when marginalized people get together and fight, like, yes, they get a lot done, but it takes what is considered, I guess, the norm, the people that are on the side of quote unquote the normal, to speak up and also fight along. Not to say that being gay isn't normal, because I don't believe that, or being LGBT spectrum is not normal. I'm certainly sure that it is. But anyways, I'm getting a little away from myself. I think it's important for people that don't live that life, that aren't marginalized, to speak up and help ensure that everybody has the same rights.
Yeah, and I think a piece of that is like not being afraid to like ask questions, or want to know more about the community itself, to show interest in that, and to show that you care about that. I've worked with a lot of gay people, and I work with a lot of gay people, and I think the number one thing that I could probably, not that I'm a spokesperson for that community, but I think the number one thing that I could say is like that's not like that's who they are, but that's not their identity. Like you don't need to be like, oh, this is Michael, he's gay. You know what I mean? It's you don't have to like introduce that as like the tagline when you or like include that in the tagline when you introduce somebody. So I think back to my one of my exes whose dad is gay and kind of what a journey that was, and I got to have some really deep conversations with him, and um he was a very, very respectable person, and I really got along with him really well. He's just a great guy, and just the fact that he went through every stage of life that he had went through, only to discover like, hey, this isn't working for me because I am gay. To the point where like you get married and have a kid. Like that's like and I know that there's a lot of there must be a lot of people of the LGBT plus community out there who have gone through that. And I think the reason why they do, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I think the reason why they do is because they feel like that's what they're supposed to do. They're conditioned to feel the way that they're conditioned to feel a certain way, and when it goes against who they actually feel like they are and their core beliefs, you have this internal conflict. And I just think it's because of society. I think things like that like prove that it's like it's not a choice, right? Like it's genuinely like born this way. This is how I feel. Like this is who I am. Like you're not choosing to be gay. If anything, you're choosing to cover it up and try to live a normal, what society says is a normal life. I mean, do you guys feel like there's any merit to what I'm saying here?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just making sure I'm not rambling like I do sometimes on the show. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, coming up, I want to talk about why people think it is such a big deal, and why there is still so much of this, infringing upon someone else's lifestyles. I don't have a joke to follow up with that, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Life Midwest on the other side of the break, where the podcast celebrates those who shop Target, those who drink Bud Light, and what's your fucking problem if they do or don't? I don't know.
Can I tell you? Okay, I don't mean to interrupt your
I don't care. Go ahead.
Back from the break, but like, can I just tell you how fucking dumb it is? This whole Bud Light thing. It's so.
Did you see the? And we can use the word because we have ADHD. Do you know? Do you know, or did you see the poster board or like the traffic board where it's Bud Light and it just says "LOL Crybabies"?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I did see that. No, it's really funny to me because like I had a conversation about this with somebody else that I work with, and they were like, well, yeah, I can't drink Budweiser anymore. I have to drink like something else. So I was like, oh yeah, what do you plan on drinking then? They're like, yeah, probably just like Corona or something. I was like, someone by the same company. They're like, oh, what about like Modelo? Yep, same company. Oh, what about this? Yeah, same company. You want to keep going? Like, well, what about? I was like, it's all owned by like the same 3 companies, dude, and they've all done promotions, either like supporting trans people or LGBT or pride more generally. You're not going to get away from it. Literally, it's like a capitalist thing to do. There's money to be made from it. Unless they're like an uber religious thing, you're not going to get away from it. Shit, they sell pride stuff at Hobby Lobby, and even like Chick-fil-A, and this is like another one that they're supposedly protesting now too. They're supposedly protesting Chick-fil-A now, because they're like, we're going to be more inclusive. That's all they said. They didn't say anything like
literally all they fucking said. And somebody retweeted them and said, "Rip Chick-fil-A, you will be missed." Like they did some fucking dastardly deed.
And that was like, but when that statement that they put out was like 3 years old. It's not even like new. Like, anyways, the conservative cry about it for as far as like pride and inclusion goes, it's so dumb.
Have y'all seen Opera GX's Twitter?
I don't even know what that is.
Opera web browser. There's like a gaming version that has like RGB innately, so you can have an RGB browser. And there's other features, I guess. I don't know. I don't use it. But whoever's in charge of their Twitter either got fired or got a good raise because like their profile picture changed to two black dudes kissing, and he posted a thing like, "I don't care about this rainbow bullshit. I want to see two dudes kissing." And then everyone was like flaming him, so he just snapped back really hard. It's really funny. I'll throw some examples in the editing process.
Real man of genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer. While lesser designers would shy away from putting 300-pound men in spandex, you embrace it. Yes, you do. Pushing fashion to its limits, literally. You pair tights with a cape, a leotard with a mask, leather boots with a thong. Oh, looking good. All understated ways of saying, I'm going to rip your head off and look fabulous doing it. So this Bud's for you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Guy. Because without you, a man crushing another man's head in his arms would just look silly. Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Hell yes. Anyways, coming back from our the break now for the true thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, if you're looking for ways to support us in the fight that we lead against the idiocracies of the Conservative Party, we do have a PayPal set up at paypal.me/thelifemidwest. You can also email us at support@thelifemidwest.com. We also have a website at, you might have guessed it, thelifemidwest.com. You can also interact with our social media manager, Lenny. Thank you. I was waiting for you to wave. At The Life Midwest on all major social platforms. I wanted to spend a few minutes before we go to like shout outs and like everything else today, like talking about like, why do people care? Like those who are against like the gays and the trans and and everything else and the gender fluids, like what are they so up in arms about? Like, I almost want to hit the streets and be like, what are you so fucking pissed about? It just bothers me because it's like, they're not affecting anyone else's life. They're not. You know who's affecting other people's lives? School shooters. I don't know. It just pisses me off.
Well, this is like a topic that I get drawn into a lot, especially at work, because the nature of my job is, construction adjacent. So you can imagine the bigotry that goes on in that kind of field. For whatever reason, one of like the main arguments is that like outside of like it's not like normal or natural, is that like it's like perverted, and like that's not something that their argument is that, well, that's not something kids should be exposed to. But like, then why is it okay for like, like straight romantic interactions to be portrayed on TV and movies and any whatever insert popular culture thing here? It doesn't. Anyways, it doesn't hold a lick of water.
And I have 2 golden retrievers. I would know what holds a lick of water.
it leaks like a sieve, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I think it's just asinine because it's just like it's not perverted, right? Like we go back to the conversation about how this is not someone's identity. Like it's who they are, it's a part of who they are, but it's not their identity. It doesn't say it on their driver's license. It's not like hair color. I don't know. Again, it's not like a tagline. It's not like I don't want to say it's relevant information, but I guess I'll spill the
though, really.
yeah,
Honestly.
it's not. And so it's just like, oh, it's perverted. Like, are you making it perverted? Are you like just because someone's gay, that doesn't mean they're fucking foaming at the mouth to put it in someone else's butt. Like that's not how it works.
Why are you fetishizing gay shit, man? What are you gay? Yeah. Why you hate it so much? You projecting? What's going on?
Yeah, it's like, you know, the classic, if you don't want to be in a gay relationship, then don't be in a gay relationship.
God, I wish I would have thought of that. Here I've been gay this whole time, and I didn't know I couldn't be. Didn't have to be. What in the hell?
Or like, but I mean, I want to let Kevin recover from dying here for a second, but like,
you broke me.
The like, especially like in the US, there's like this weird like religious aspect to it that like isn't real. Like it's all made up. And I'm not saying that like I'm not saying religion specifically in this instance, but just like this tenet of like Christianity, like like Jesus never talked about being like gay, right? He never talked about like, you know, condemning homosexuality, not once. So everything like the Leviticus stuff like came so much later. So but you know, especially like evangelicals like will really want to hold on to that and say like, well, it's right here, but it's like King James shit. You know, it's not even like true gospel.
Also, I bet those people eat shellfish, which if anyone's ever read Deuteronomy, you're a fucking sinner. You're a pervert, you're a sinner. You should go to hell.
Yeah. Yeah. But like even like a lot of Catholics like feel that way too. I'm not saying all, but like definitely some do, but like the Pope himself has been like, they abide by the scripture and of course they're going to heaven. Like why wouldn't they? You know? So that's what really weird to me too. Like, you know, if you want to believe the Christian creation myth and say that God made everybody in his own image, then God's a little gay.
And it's okay to be gay.
It's okay to be whatever you want to be, except a furry. You can't be a furry.
Yeah, the internet won't let you be.
Yeah.
Okay, but jokes aside, like, if you're not hurting anybody, if everything's consensual, go for it.
Go for it.
But what if the gay rubs off on me? Now that's where my problem stands.
Maybe you're a little gay to begin with.
Oh, God damn it.
And like, look, I'm stealing somebody's joke here. I don't remember what comedian said it, but it's like, it's got to be 15 years old at this point. They said like, okay, yeah, but like everybody's a little gay, and the person they're talking to says, well, I'm not gay at all. And then they go, okay, well, when you're watching porn, do you like it when the guy has a tiny little limp dick, or he's like, no, I like him long, hard, and Oh no!
It's
yeah.
The dude from the Redneck tour with the gray hair that drinks like scotch.
Oh, Ron White.
Yeah,
Ron White. Yeah.
Thank you. But even, especially like in 2023, everybody's a little bit gay, right? I can't be like too far off the mark. Seriously, so.
You know how many times I thought a male anime character was a girl at first? Total trap bait.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody remembers Haku from the first arc of Naruto.
But I just in like in all actuality, if you really think about it, like, I don't know. In all actuality, like this is something that we're going to kind of continue and delve into a little bit more in a couple of weeks. We have a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine that I worked with from Apple, who kind of shares his story, and I think honestly, it's probably one of Wes's favorite interview episodes that we've ever done. He's really excited about it, and we do touch on the fact that that he's gay, and what that was like growing up, and what that's been like in his adult life, and the challenges that he may or may not face, that we may or not face. But at the same time, like, we have a really good conversation about like how that's not like all about him, or that's all who he is. So I think that's kind of what we're trying to get at here, but also the fact that like he's not hurting anybody. Like he's a good person, and there's this like thing where people think that gay people are bad people, and it's just, I just don't get it. And so I don't know. I don't want to continue to like beat a dead horse with the topic here. But I appreciate being able to have a discussion with you two, and I hope we've at least softened some hearts about it. If anything, I think that's kind of the goal of the show, is not necessarily to change people's minds, but at least be like, you know what, like, why, like, if you are on the other side of this, be like, why do I care so much? Why is that such a big deal? Like, who is it hurting? And you can, you know what I mean, you can say the children or whatever, but I mean, then you have Lenny's makes an excellent point of like, like regular like man and women relationships that are like portrayed in fucking Disney movies. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, you have that. So what's wrong with the opposite of that? So any final thoughts before we go to the shout outs, boys?
Yeah, it's not even like really an opposite thing. Like, if like, let's just hypothetically say that like, if you're going to say that homosexual or any, non straight relationships are conditioning to children to be, not straight, then like, by that token, then anything that isn't non-straight is conditioning for people that consider themselves part of the LGBTQ plus community, right? So now, like, they're being presented with that worldview, and now they're having that internal conflict and that's not even to talk about the fact that it is a marginalized community. So just from that one example, you now have this entire group of people that has to question, like, am I not normal? So
as a little bit of a service to the community we're talking about, like, not that we get views really, but like when we do episodes, they're for ourselves. So we might as well give just the tiniest bit back to the community we're talking about. Let's do a little bit of a little game in empathy real quick. How do either of you feel when someone addresses you incorrectly? Imagine over the phone, someone calls you ma'am, or to your face, someone calls you ma'am. It's a little jarring. You're like, what you say to me? Like, as I've worked on phone sales and phone customer service large portion of my life, and the amount of times I get called ma'am, I'm like, I don't sound like a man, but okay, whatever. This is why I believe pronouns are important. Everyone's like, well, why the hell should I care what I call them? I'll call them an it or whatever, which is just like super disrespectful. I've heard that so many times. It's because you put yourself in the other person's shoe. You use empathy. You're like, well, I do get a little frustrated when I get called ma'am. Why does that happen? Why are they calling me that? Are they trying to insult me? Maybe it was just an innocent slip, right? Like, whatever. But it still gets your attention. It's because you feel a certain way about your identity. And why should anyone else tell you what your identity is? Use proper pronouns. Learn about them. Understand them. Don't just be a fool.
That's an incredibly good point, Wes. I think that's a great way to cap off the show.
Very well said.
Yeah. Folks, it's been real. Folks, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Please don't leave that in there. You can if you want. I don't give a shit. It's time to go to the shout outs. Lenny, who do you got for us this week?
I want to shout out the LGBTQ plus community. I've never felt as like beautiful and attractive as when I've been to a gay bar with some of my gay friends.
Seriously, go to a gay bar. It's so much fun.
Well,
everybody's so nice.
No, I wouldn't say go to one. If you get invited to go, then it's okay. It's
that's what I mean. Sorry.
So, just a little quick tangent here. That's their space. Straight women, stay out of there. They're not there for you to go in and just get fucking plastered at a bridal shower. I'm not like pointing any fingers at anybody, or insinuating anything. It's a space for them to be because they've had to make their own space. So if you get invited, go. It's a good time. You'll get hit on a lot, but they're very polite when you tell them that that's not your speed. So shout out to y'all. I really appreciate it. But otherwise, another shout out to the LGBTQ plus community because, there's a lot of places that see you as less than human, and I hope every day that changes sooner than later. Nobody should be made to feel that way. And if your parents are not supportive of your lifestyle, just let me know. I'll be your new dad. Brittany will be your new mom. We adopt internet strangers all the time. So, shout out to Brittany, my amazing wife, for being probably a better ally than I could ever be. And just shout out everybody that's going through it. We love you guys.
Nice. Wes?
Shout out to the LGBTQ. Is it still AI plus? I know they redacted some parts, but I probably should have learned that before giving the shout out. Shout out to the community as a whole. Anyone who sees themselves as somebody not in the whatever we consider normal. Normal is what normal is. And shout out to, I have two really good friends who are trans, and I won't shout them out specifically because I think maybe only myself and a few other people know about that. But I couldn't imagine being in their shoes where they have to keep secrets from their family, and just to be who they truly are, they have to live in secrecy, and that would drive me insane. That would eat me inside. So I want to give a shout out to everyone who has to live under pretenses for however long they have to until they're finally able to be free. Some of the smartest people I've met, honestly, their intelligence humbles me, and I wanted to talk about the connection of intelligence versus how we end up in a certain way. Like Alan Turing, gay, created the computer. Like Leonardo da Vinci, probably gay, great artist. And then the two smartest people I know, trans. Obviously that's conjecture, pseudoscience, I don't know, some type of falsehood there, but just an anecdote in my personal experience. So shout out
correlation and causation, not the same thing, but
correct.
There's something to it.
Right. So shout out to the community. I wish people would stop being dickheads. There's no reason, there's no point. So shout out to mothers. We do that here on the show. Shout out to my wife Yui, because she's also an ally, and I appreciate that so much. I did a thing where I got into a relationship without actually asking that question, but then I slowly learned that she's about it, so good shit. And shout out to you two. Thanks for... I think traditionally this would be a difficult conversation to have with 3 straight males, but I'm glad that we could as adults, and that was really cool.
Yeah. I hopefully not any less value being the last one to do it, but I also want to echo the shout out to the LGBT plus community, and it's been really cool to have the experiences that I have with with being invited to a gay bar and having some gay friends and knowing some gay people and just kind of getting kind of a look into their world, and kind of the things that they struggle with and the things that they face, but also the things that like we both have common ground with and like with struggles that we face too, it feels really good to be an ally to a marginalized community. And if you're open to it, I recommend exploring the world just to get yourself a little bit familiar with it, just to kind of draw empathy from it, if anything, you know what I mean? So I want to shout out my amazing future wife Ashley, and I want to shout out the two of you for having another great conversation, and again, hopefully softening some hearts. If I have softened your heart this week, I want to shout you out as well. And yeah. So hope you enjoyed the conversation. Really looking forward to my friend Davis's episode. That's going to be a good one. I'm burping out the orange juice I just drank throughout the show. So that's nice. Folks, leave us a review on your favorite listening platform. Reach out to us at our major socials at The Life Midwest. Email us at support@thelifemidwest.com. Check out our website at thelifemidwest.com. Tell your friends about us. Call your mom. Tell someone you love them. And all that good stuff. Make sure you do that this month, though, especially if it's someone in the marginalized community of the LGBT plus community. Make sure that they know that they're not alone. There are too many people out there who an earthquake struck in Tacoma tonight. No, I think that there's people out there. I read this the other day. There's people out there who believe that it is better to be dead than gay, and we need to change that. Teen suicide is just too much of a real thing, and it's even worse when it comes to those who fall within this marginalized community. So please do your part to be an ally, have a conversation, or like Lenny said, he'll adopt you. So folks, we'll see you next Saturday and every Saturday here on the Life Midwest podcast. Take care. Have a good one.
Proud Boys love LGBTQAI+. Pride Month. Official Proud Boy here.
Can't make it hard. I don't know.
Okay. Bye, we love you guys.
Love you, babies. We broke Lenny. Good night.